Okay, my first book is I Can Be President Too, and it is by Yanicia Canetti. And with this book, um, it has on the first page the Statue of Liberty, and it starts out with a little boy named Chris Mendoza. He's 5 years old, and he says he can be president too. This book is for K through third grade, and it shows all the diversity of the students and why they think they can be president, and they tell about their families, where they're from. This one is Jessica Wu, and she's 6 years old, and she says she can be president too. So, yes, this is a great book. Very diverse with different cultures, telling their stories of why. He says, I ask questions until I understand the answer. I try and try again. I never give up. I work hard to get what I want. Vote for me. I am determined. So each student is telling why they should be president, kind of like doing a campaign. So, with this story, I feel like, or with this book, I feel like the students can all get up in class. A hands-on activity would be all students can get up in class and they can demonstrate themselves of why they could be president. They can put on a campaign because this is like a history or historical fiction, and they can describe their reasons of why they believe they can be president. So that would be a great hands-on experience for the kids to gain knowledge of how we as Americans vote, and uh, just show um, the diverse of what goes on, diversity in voting and in American politics. It helps the students kind of understand the campaigning and tell why that they think that they can be president. Now, my second book is The Black Frog, and this story is by Emmett Woods. And I came about this book at the Martin Luther King, uh, what is it? Martin Luther King Museum, Civil Rights Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, when I went with the fourth grade last year. And I picked it up because I liked it, and it's a good little book, and it's illustrated by Phyllis Parks. So, examples of illustrations of the black frog, and to tell you, this book is pre-K to second grade. Uh, it tells of a black frog. He is a frog, but he's black like a toad. He's not green like the other frogs. And he's sad because he's not green and he doesn't fit in with the other frogs. And all the other frogs tend to pick with him a lot, make fun of him, and it makes him sad. Uh, he is a sad frog, and then one day in his little kingdom, he came across a grasshopper has magic. And he asked him what was his wish and why was he so sad? Why was he so sad? And if he had his way, what would he do? And he asked the grasshopper to make him green like the other frogs. So once he granted him the wish and he made him green. The frog found out that being green was not what it all cracked up to be. He was more happy when he was a black frog, and he saw that being green didn't make him any different than what he was when he was a black frog. So this story does tell some diversity about trying to fit in, with the other crowds, how being one set of color, I guess, from the other colors, being a black frog is no different than being a green frog. He is his own person. So with this, for more like a pre-K or first grade, they hands-on experience that they can do, activity that they can do is do a coloring sheet of a black frog. They can name the black frog and do a coloring sheet maybe of a green frog. Let them choose which color frog that they would want to be, and they can get up and tell their story of why they chose that frog. But it's a good little book. I like it. I really do. And great little story to read to the younger children. Second book is Something from Nothing by Phoebe Gilman. Something from Nothing. This is a Jewish folk tale, and it has diversity in it because of I guess the religious background of being a Jewish folk tale. But this is about a story of Joseph, whose grandfather. Okay, back it up a little bit. This is K through 3. It can also be K through 4 a little bit, but it's more K through 3. I came about this book in pre-K, and I loved it, and we did the activities in the room with this book. But Joseph's grandfather made him a blanket when he was a baby to keep him warm and safe. And so the blanket, as Joseph got older, as you can see, the mother told him that the blanket is frazzled, and is worn. And so Joseph said that he knew what to do. He said grandfather can fix his blanket. So he took it to grandfather, and he did a little sewing here and a little in and out with the needles, and he made him a jacket. So when he made him a jacket, the jacket started getting a little too little. And so mother said that it's shrunken and it's small. And of course Joseph said grandfather can fix it. So he took it to grandfather. Grandfather did what he did with the scissors and the needle in and out, and he made him a vest. And from the vest got a little too little, got a little worn, and mother said, oh, it's getting a little spotted and it has some glue and stuff on it. Oh, it's time to give it up, throw it away. So Joseph said, no, grandfather fix it. He took it to grandfather. Grandfather did what he do with the scissors and the needle and made him a tie. And from the tie, Joseph wore it all the time to grandfather's house. And the mother said that the tie had got a spot on it, a stain from some soup. So it was time to throw it away. He said, no, grandfather can fix it. And so, of course, Joseph took it to grandfather, and grandfather made a handkerchief. And from the handkerchief, it got a little torn and worn. And mother said, throw it away. Of course, no, Joseph does not want to do that. So he takes it to grandfather, and grandfather makes a button for his suspenders. Well, one day, mother gets to looking and said, oh, Joseph, where's your button? He couldn't find it. He runs to grandfather, and mother chases him and said that grandfather cannot do something from nothing, whence comes the name of the title of the book. So Joseph thought of an idea and said, I'll make a story. And that's how I ended with the story. And the thing that hands-on activity that the kids can do is they can dress with, provide them the activity that we did in the classroom pre-K was we had a blanket, a jacket, a vest, a tie, a handkerchief, button suspenders, and we allowed the kids to make a story. But before they made the story, they felt the blanket, they tried on the jacket, they tried on on a vest. They tried on a tie. They felt how a handkerchief felt and what you can do with it, and they felt the button. And so they wrote a story about what you can do with each one and how they felt, and the feeling of the fabric is what we did on this one. And they compared how different the fabrics are with each um, clothing or each item, and that was a good experience for them. And the stories were real nice that they could write out, with the help of the teachers writing the story. They tell us the story, how they think each item felt. So these are my 3 books, and thank you.